Hello, my name is Patricia Holmes and I'm your Photoshop instructor, and we are beginning in Chapter 1 with learning Photoshop, the interface, and some of the tools. If you have not done so, go into File, go Open, and open up the Start file for Chapter 1, and let's go ahead and get right to it. One of the major concepts you're going to understand in Photoshop is if you can select it, you can edit it. So if you take a look at our tool menu, we have a lot of sub-menus underneath these icons. So how do you know if there's a sub-menu? There's a little black arrow, and all you do is you take your mouse, you press down and you hold it so that menu pops up. And you can select which option you want. In Chapter 1, we're going to use the elliptical tool, and what we're going to do is we're going to use this red arrow as a guide, and what we're going to do is we're going to take our mouse, we're going to click and hold our mouse, and we're going to drag from the top left of this red arrow towards the bottom right. And what we want to do is we want to select this image. So then put your mouse in the middle of this image, hold it down, and position the selection. If you see the selection all glittering like it is in this video, it means that you have successfully chosen an area. This is also called marching ants. When you see your marching ants, you have your area selected. So I want to come over here to the layers real quickly and point out that the layer we are currently working on is always highlighted in a light blue. So what we are doing is we've selected this area, and we can edit this area if we want to, but following the chapter, the author is having us introduce ourselves to the toolbar by selecting something, and then what we're going to do is we are actually going to choose inverse. We're going to choose everything outside of this by simply going select inverse. And so now everything outside of this framed image of this little girl is now selected. So what we want to do is, again, I'm following the chapter, we want to change the color of this by going to our hue and saturation, click this. We want to make sure colorize is selected, and the author is having us put in a 200 for the hue. Now most of us do not know what 200 is going to translate to, but the little pointer here can show you it's a light blue. So let's say you want to change the color of a background of something and you don't know exactly what color, you can just take this little handle here and position it to any color you want. So if you are editing a photo, the answer to if the photo looks good is completely up to you, nobody else. So what we're doing here in our chapter is we're being asked to do a few alterations, but ultimately we are being introduced to the interface of Photoshop. Okay, so next what we're going to do after we change the hue is we are going to take a look at the hue and saturation layer. So where's my layers? I don't see it. Well, they're actually hidden down here, and I'm going to drag the layer up. And you're going to see that the hue, the change that we made, gets its own layers. What if you can't find this layer panel anywhere? I want you to go to Window, and I want you to make sure Layers is chosen. The same goes with the toolbar on the left. The toolbar is our instrument. It's our tools. We have to have it. They're down here at the very bottom. So make sure that you have that selected. So after we make a couple of changes to the hue and saturation, we are going to save our work as working, and we're simply going to go File, Save As. And if you're following me in the book, I am on page 20, and the author's asking us to change the name to 01, which is the chapter we're working on, Working, and we're going to save it to a location. So I'm going to save it here. I'm going to hit Save, and we're going to have an OK. And that concludes my lesson, and we will continue with the next video going through the rest of the chapter.